are live.
Hey there, and welcome to GemStars, part of the Untold Stories Project. I'm Wiki, and I'll be your host and game master this evening. GemStars is an actual play of Mutants and Masterminds, the world's greatest superhero RPG from Green Ronin Publishing, taking place in the original setting of LaFondy. Mutants and Masterminds is a D20 based system that allows players and GMs to create stories featuring all of the greatest heroes of their imagination. One of the fun things about Mutants and Masterminds is the inclusion of the hero point. These allow heroes to re-roll a die, take an extra action, recover from a dangerous condition, make small scene edits, or use powers in creative ways. Each hero starts with one of these hero points and can gain additional points for good role playing, funny jokes, clever decisions, having their characters' complications used against them, and by your generosity. That's right. If you subscribe, renew a subscription, donate bits to the stream, you will generate one of these hero points that you can give to the player of your choice. We are a small but growing streaming network, and those follows, subscriptions, likes, and comments, both here on Twitch and over on YouTube, help to keep us visible, growing, and paying our bills. Now, let's meet our heroes for tonight, shall we? Say, I'm shocked, heroes.
I'm shocked,
heroes.
That was a lot.
Probably the best one yet, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Heroes, let's go ahead and have you introduce yourselves. Tell us your name, who you're playing, and answer our question of the week, which is, what is the most evil thing your character has ever done? And let's start with probably the least evil character.
Who was that?
Oh, come on. There's only one answer.
Yeah, all right. Jemmy.
I'd like to think I'm a close second.
I feel like it's just a point to figure out how can you get me to have to start it every time, knowing I'm never ready. Anyway, hi, I'm Jemmy. I play Mary / Morganite. I am not coming from anything tonight, so I am actually very well rested and present, which is incredible. And to answer the question, I literally had to I was like, what do I even say here? To which I think the best answer is either staying up past curfew or maybe accidentally, and I'm going to put this in quotes, stealing from a store, which was probably just they forgot to charge her something, to which, if Mary noticed, probably went back to pay it back. Because she's not, she hasn't done any, she's like the nice one. I literally based her off the magical girl trope of, power of friendship.
My Little Pony was all summed up into one person. That's who you are.
Not wrong.
No, but I have nothing else to say, so I'm going to pass it over to, I think, one of the two people who has the most interesting answers. And I'm passing it to my father.
All right. So, hi, everyone. I'm Aaron. I am playing the Amber GemStars Transmutation, who has been using the name of Braylon, and who happens to be a group. So, to answer the question of the day, I am first going to take a brief moment to wax philosophical about the fact that evil requires a certain degree of free choice or free will and the ability to make a moral choice. So while the being that is Braylon has done some heinous things in their past, that just means that the Gru meta mind is incredibly evil. The evil person, you don't say that their fingers are evil. It's, the brain that is controlling them. So arguably, none of that entity's actions before they basically got a consciousness can be described as being evil. So,
Denied.
what?
Argument denied.
Fine. So with that in mind, the most evil thing that Braylon has ever done is probably concealing the truth from their friends. Especially because with all of us having the gems that are, belong to the Master Mage and being responsible for, like, I don't know, saving the world or some shit. You not knowing that I am actually a shape-shifting alien instead of a Lefondian was dangerous and selfish. And especially since no non-Lefondian has ever been able to use the power of gem magic before, that's a big deal. So that's probably the most evil thing that this entity has done since they've had a consciousness to make a moral decision. Now, other than that, there's the fact, that they killed and ate a 17-year-old Lefondian. But
Details.
so, and with that, I'm going to backtrack and wedge Calvin in between the two Einhorns and hit Calvin.
Cool. Wow.
We're just gonna go back and forth between innocent and not.
I think maybe. Well, I'm Calvin, and I'm playing Arcelia, aka Ruby, the GemStar of Strength. And as to the answer to the question of the day, I'm trying to think of something villainous or evil that Ruby does.
You had to have done some shady shit with that company girl you don't like.
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking
Possibly.
about. Did someone say something?
No, she has a family reputation to uphold.
Plus, that was a bully.
Yeah, that doesn't really count if no one finds out.
Well, and also, yes, typically when you're being bullied, your attempts to get back are ineffectual and come to naught.
Yeah, I think she probably stops herself too often, honestly, because she's like, no, what if people find out I did this? It's going to make my whole family mad at me. So I think the worst thing she's ever done is that she really doesn't like Book 9 in the Shining Justice series, and she hasn't told anyone. But she's...
That's the most evil thing, is she doesn't like a
Well,
book?
even worse is that she's made anonymous accounts on Instagem to complain about it.
No.
Oh.
You are Stella Hater 499.
So, internet troll is the most evil thing that Ruby has done. Okay.
Yeah, just for this one topic. Look, her favorite character was just killed off by some rando. It's not fair.
Yeah. No, valid there. If your favorite character was killed off by a rando, angry. I'll defend her.
Stella was not just some rando.
She just showed up out of nowhere. And then suddenly she's able to fight Mass Blade. I mean, come on. The guy's been around since... Look, it's not a thing. I'm not going to get into it. I'll talk to you on Instagram.
No, that I'm going to go into the backstory, and we're going to get all the information in the next book when it comes out.
Look, we're not talking about Josephine here. It's just... I can't get into this with you.
All right, Calvin, is that all you got?
Yeah, that's the best I got.
Okay.
And
I guess I'll just go straight up to Joe.
Hey, fantastic. All right, I see what's happening here. Okay, I'm Joe, and I play Sodalite, aka Zeta, aka lots of other names, because she's been a bit adventurous. That's how I'll put it.
Sure.
And the most evil thing. All right, so she's like 19, going on 20, and she is something that hasn't been fully revealed in game is one of the other names she goes by is the Cloaked Dream. And that is the name she works under as an actual assassin. So much to the wax poeticking, if that's a word, of Aaron about what is evil. She's done things that many people outside of herself consider evil, but she doesn't particularly care about because it was a job. And she'll only take a job if there is proof enough to merit the level of interaction they are paying for. If that level of interaction means killing someone for someone else, she will take care of it. If it means beating up someone to get paperwork, she'll take care of it. If it means just stealing something to give to someone else, she'll take care of it. Moral ambiguity there. She kind of had a messed up childhood in that she was born in a different country, grew up with the nomads, and she was never really accepted amongst them, and it made it pretty easy to have different ethics than everyone else when she felt no one took the time to remember who she was or care, except for a couple of people. And so when Amber left, when Braylon left and her parents went missing, there wasn't anything truly keeping her tied there or to care or to, at a younger, more formidable age when brain is forming, she had no one there to guide her, to let her know, like, maybe that isn't the best way to handle things. So she made some shady choices as a kid, and then the most evil thing that she feels she did was how she got the title of Cloaked Dream. And it was that when she woke up after losing time when Darkfall happened, there was an old woman that took care of her and rehabilitated her, and you know, she felt that she was like a granny, and that's what she called the lady. But then she became the person who trained her in the ways of the Assassin Guild. And the way she got the name Cloaked Dream is she had to kill her master to take over the role. So most evil thing she did is she killed like an 80-year-old woman so she could have a job.
But like
Brandon.
an 80-year-old assassin.
What?
But like an 80-year-old assassin.
Yeah. In hiding in retirement, like she wanted to get away from things and she didn't want people to call on the Cloaked Dream anymore, and so she was hiding out. And no, in order to prove herself to the guild, she had to kill the previous Cloaked Dream, and so she did. Brandon, your turn. Have at it.
Hi everyone. I am Brandon. This is Oreo. Trying to find a comfortable place to sit. As right in front of my face is the perfect place. I play Kingsley Palace, aka Jade Crystal, the famous singer, aka Emerald, the Gemstar of Fortune. And it's not necessarily because she's a goody two-shoes, but just with the nature of how lucky she is. She's never particularly been tempted to do anything bad because she's never needed to. So I would say if I were to, that one of two things would be the most evil thing she's ever done. One is being born into and growing up in a life of incredible privilege and wealth when other people don't. And I would say the other is there are definitely got to be occasions when she was younger, probably especially during her tween years, where she kind of took her good fortune for granted. And yeah, that would be about as evil as she gets because, you know, there wasn't any need for Adam and Eve to be evil while they were living in the garden. And I will pass it over to Aunt Puppy.
Hi, I'm Aunt Puppy. I play Alexandrite. She is the Gemstar of Magic, also a demon. So, I mean,
Hey, at least she doesn't eat people.
Whose definition of evil things she's done is really evil? So for her, though, doing evil is just normal and standard, and you're weird if you don't do evil things. If you don't cheat at an underground poker game or, throw beer bottles at, people passing by underneath the bridge, like that's normal behavior. So for her, the most evil thing she's ever done is in Shadowfall, everything is anything fun in what would be the normal world is considered bad. So books, art, music, instruments, all that kind of stuff. So to her, her most evil thing would be that she rained on her sister's coronation by getting caught stealing from the vault.
Can we back up a second and talk about the word you just used there?
What?
Coronation.
Sister's coronation?
Yeah. I've mentioned her before. Not as Alexandria has not mentioned her before, but I have mentioned her before.
I do not recall you mentioning before that you are the sister of the Empress.
No.
No.
That's not what she said.
I just said I have a sister and that I ruined her coronation by... we'll say that she used something that is aggressive and can sometimes be slightly... She threw dynamite at the vault and blew it open so that she could steal things from it. That was her first endeavor in stealing things. So to her, that's the most evil thing she's done, because she specifically made sure to wait until it was her sister's coronation to do it.
I love the petty nature of that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I
to
will
clarify,
ruin my sister's coronation.
We're not clarifying. We're moving on.
No need for clarification. But that's it.
There's definite need for clarification. We may not be getting it, but there is need for it.
It's fine.
Strong word.
All done?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe that's me now.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, my characters have done some really evil stuff. Evil stuff is what they do.
Shady Samson's the worst.
He's totally the worst.
The Ash Wastes, for example.
That's just Wiki being evil.
What are you talking about? So when last we saw our magical girls, they had finished up their separate missions and started putting in place the plans for the next step of achieving their goal to stop the Civil War from happening.
Mm-hmm.
During this planning phase, some shocking information, both about their enemy and one of their own, was revealed. Tonight, we join our GemStars as Team Galliana reunites with Team Pearl in Mary's family kitchen.
Not the kitchen, my room.
Bedroom.
Oh, I thought you guys were in the kitchen.
We had moved to the room
we
to get
were
away
in the
from the
bedroom.
nobles.
Okay, so in
Not the
Mary's
nobles,
bedroom.
the console.
If you're not Braylon,
Who are you?
where is Braylon?
Maybe you should just start from the beginning of this.
Yeah.
In another reality, another universe. Let me change back. And they will go back to looking like Braylon. In another universe, there is a race who have been known as the Gru. We are metamorphs, both physically and, in some cases, mentally. much like an insect colony, different Gru have different roles in the society. We have a metamind who is, well, really is all of us, is the intelligence of the Gru, with a few notable Gru who have broken free. There are the metamorphs who are used for colonization and invasion. And then there are drones. I was one of those metamorphs. I was sent to not Lafandi, a different world. The name of it wouldn't mean anything to you. To infiltrate, to find out if they would be susceptible to invasion. And I was discovered, and they were an extremely pacifistic people, so they wouldn't kill me, which they should have, but instead they opened a portal to somewhere else and threw me through it. Which is really where I start. I didn't really have an identity of my own until then. I was scared and lost on an alien world, and for the first time ever, could not feel the metamind. So I did what my instincts told me to do, which was find a local life form, assimilate, get information, and survive. There was a young Lafondian out away from their tribe. And I dispatched them and took what I needed from their mind.
When you say dispatched,
Killed.
I instinctively reach over and grab Ruby's hand.
Ruby is standing fairly rigid, just keeping her eyes trained on Braylon.
I was nothing more than an animal operating off of instinct. And for the first time ever, truly operating off instinct and not being controlled. So after I learned everything I could about Braylon's family and their tribe and their people, I returned to live among them and to try to find a way off-world. And then something very unexpected happened. I started to have a sense of me. I had a sense of identity. I wasn't a part of the Gru. I was me. And I realized then that for most of the different species in the universe, that is the way all sentient creatures think of themselves. And it fascinated me. And that is why Braylon became so interested in learning about all of the different cultures of Lafandi, and why Braylon took such a turn away from being an insular, stay-at-home the clan should isolate and instead wanted to care about everyone because you don't know what a gift it is that you all have. You don't understand what this ability to choose and make decisions and to be you is.
And all it cost was Braylon's life.
Yes, and all it cost was Braylon's life. And I can't begin to tell you how much I now regret that. And at the same time, if it had not been for that action, I would never have been in a position to be able to regret that. Because Braylon would have killed me if they had been able to. They tried.
Before or after you attacked them?
Again, I was a beast.
But if you're going to try and let yourself off,
I'm not letting myself off.
In the idea that he was going to.
No. I'm not letting myself off. I am saying that what I was a beast operating off of instinct and attacking for its own survival, and Braylon tried to defend himself. And it went the way it did, which is why I am here, and why I am now evolved enough to have a moral understanding. And if it had gone the other way, that Braylon was attacked by a beast and managed to kill it, Braylon would not have felt guilty about killing a beast that attacked them.
Drama in the group.
What?
That's the cat.
Oh.
Sodalite had
No.
flipped away to a corner, and though no one was looking at her, just more and more shadows were filling up around her and like trying to overtake her. And whenever you get to that part of your story, she steps out of the corner and she drops Sodalite. And so it's just Sateta standing there. And she walks straight up to Amber. Fists are clenched, and she's very angry, without a doubt. But she turns around and puts her back to you, and she looks at the rest of the group and says, "The reason for that sacred right is to know the path of which you are supposed to take. Braylon was never meant to leave that forest if a beast slayed them. It hurts that it took so many years to find that out, but I will not condemn the beast over their instinctual actions, because no matter what, it means Braylon was never meant to leave the forest. What we have right here is an ally through the gems. And even if we don't like how this ally came to us, we can't let this moment fracture the gems." And she turns back around. "I don't like you. You took my best friend away from me. But you are a needed ally right now. So I accept you for who you are. And we'll have to work on the liking part."
But the question needs to be asked, are they an ally?
I don't
Because
see why
let's look
not.
let's look at the facts. They've lied to us for the entire time that we've known them. And there's also the question mark of the fact that there is at least one other Gru here, which means the chances that there are more than one other Gru here.
Okay.
What's going to happen now that Braylon has access to that hive mind or whatever they call it?
From what it
What
seems,
danger are we in?
it doesn't seem like Braylon is connected to that hive mind. And if they're still talking to us as they are, and while the truth is they've lied to us, I don't want to think the fact that they've also saved our lives in situations and helped people isn't true either. They did it, as they said, because it was a survival tactic and they didn't know better. If they truly are fascinated by our freedom and free will and love for others, I don't see why that hive mind should be a worry if it's an optional thing at this point. And if it's not, I don't see how we not have already lost them.
That's. Go ahead.
Simple answer to whether or not they are an ally. The gem chose the Gru, not Braylon. The gem found who was meant to wear the amber stone, and that's who we have. Technically, they never lied to us. They told us their name was Braylon, and we have known a Braylon as an amber GemStar. You never knew Braylon before meeting the GemStar Amber. The only person here who knew Braylon was me. And that's for me to deal with. This entity, person, being, consciousness is exactly who they have presented themselves to be, no more or less than I have presented myself and who I am. Do you not consider me an ally?
We can talk about the disturbing implications of that statement later, but right now we need to talk about the fact that no, Braylon did not present themselves as they were because Braylon is a Gru, and we can't scoot over that fact that Braylon kept from us who they are. And so we need to not operate on assumptions of the nature of the hive mind or anything else that. We need to hear Braylon speak to these concerns.
Braylon, did you
am not saying
that's on Shadowfall?
What was that?
Braylon, did you feel the other Gru that is on Shadowfall?
No.
It's not on Shadowfall, it's here.
Did you feel them here?
The only thing I felt was when the gate opened and all of the lore people arrived.
How dare you, sir? That is a portal, and you know well what.
But also the vision.
Peter will be calling his lawyers.
The vision that Sodalite had last episode, that was not on LaFondi. That was in the vision she had was in Shadowfall, not LaFondi.
But at the same
we know he's here.
But we know he's here.
Because the Gru turned into
Acosta.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We know we know that Gru came here and took Acosta's personality, and so you said you felt something.
The Game Master would like to point out that you assume that.
Right. I felt the metamind when that gate opened. Briefly.
What did it feel?
Pushed it away.
What do you think would happen if you didn't push it away?
If I didn't push it away, of course it would assimilate me, or it would try.
Okay.
There are other Gru in the past who have broken away from the metamind.
Okay. Do you think the metamind was trying to reach out to you because the portal opened up into the reality you're from, or because other Gru came through the portal and were now in LaFondi?
I don't know. I truly don't know. I think it was purely from the length of time that the portal was open, and it was simply because the metamind's telepathic presence covers a vast amount of distance. So while the portal was open, it could see me again.
Wait, I have one question that I think is really what we are, I think, trying to get to, which I think we should just say right out. Do you want to help us, and do you want to keep us safe?
Yes.
Because, okay, that's all that really matters then. I don't see why they'd lie to us in this situation when they know that if they turn on us, we could. In fact.
Can I simply point out that if I meant to betray you, why would I have told you this? You had no idea what you saw was a grill. I did. And I care. And I want Lafandi to survive and to thrive. And I do not want us to become a colony of the Empress or of the Gru Metamind.
I think that's all that we need to know. I don't see why we're still questioning.
But
I'm questioning because it's an obvious need to question. Because we have had a serious breach of trust. And so while what Braylon is saying is convincing, it doesn't change the fact that there has been a serious breach of trust.
If we want to talk about serious breach of trust, it's not like our entire group hasn't been hiding things, is what it feels like.
I feel like this is the first time you've experienced something like this.
Here, I'm going to make this simpler. And Amber is going to reach up and take the tiara off, detransforming from Amber into Braylon. Yes, you all know that that's still a transformation, but
yeah.
And Amber will set the gem on a table. We're in your bedroom, right?
Yeah.
So on top of the dresser, and we'll walk out of the room.
That's not going to do well for the politicians downstairs.
I'm not going downstairs, but
that being the case, Ruby, who has been again rather stiff this entire time, she's just going to pick up that tiara, just sort of staring down at it.
As you reach for it, it shocks you. Like,
So.
You cannot touch that tiara. It's angry.
I guess, and then she's just going to turn around to the rest of the team that's in this room. If Braylon or whoever that is, if they didn't deserve this gem, there is no power in the universe that could have put it on them. And I know all of us probably have something we're hiding, something we don't want the others to know, but right now, I don't think it matters where we came from or what we did before. We're all GemStars now. It's just this. Lafandi is. We're all Lafandi has right now, and it's gonna take some time to fix this right here, but the gems chose us. The gems chose Braylon.
I want to be clear on something real quick. First, Soda, you're right. This is the first time that I have ever been betrayed in this manner, or in such a significant manner. But I believe there is an assumption of my thoughts and beliefs right now that is inaccurate. I am merely trying to follow the path to figure out how we can manage to work with someone that we can't trust. I am trying to find a way to make this work.
It's
I can't.
Can't.
To be fair, you guys didn't know my name until like an hour ago.
That's what I want to point out. If we're going to say that we can't trust them, we can't trust so many things right now.
Because I think, again, we have understood that Alexandrite's being Alexandrite.
So
And
knowing someone's lying to you is better than someone lying
No.
to you. And
because as far as I know, Alexandrite hasn't lied to me. She's just been secretive. Whereas Braylon has lied to us.
And it's going to take some time to repair that trust between us, but
we need to figure out a plan. We need to have some kind of backup in case Braylon, this is part of some plan to betray us. We have to be prepared.
I don't
If
think
it
we're
comes
going
to
to have a
that-
plan if you're going to be untrustworthy. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but we've gotten as far as we have because we've all had to put a level of trust in each other. We've gotten places, we've gotten information because we've all had to work together. I don't see how we are supposed to do anything if we can't trust another one of our members. I'm sorry, no, I still trust Amber, and I get why you don't, but I don't see a way we continue and fix the problems we have right now if you can't put a level of trust in there.
I'm not saying we can't put a little level of trust in Amber. I am not saying we kill them. I am not saying we turn them over to the authorities. I am not saying even that we can't make them a GemStar, even though it is not clear that the GemStar chose Amber and didn't mean to choose Braylon. We don't know that for a fact. Don't look at me like that, Soda.
I need everyone in the room to please make me a dodge save, please.
A dodge?
Huh?
Oh god.
Whomst? We're having a moment.
Bro, I'm trying to get the power of friendship going in here.
Make my point.
I was going all in on like power of friendship. You know, we can't do it if we don't have friends. And then like, dodge. What?
Dodge.
So I think the low right now is a 24. No, low's 18.
Highest is 28 because I made a character who was not meant to get hit.
All right. So everyone.
I don't know why that rolled twice on me. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Everybody except Alexandrite, you are fine as a loud boom reverberates across the floor.
I swear to God, if it's that cat and it's me
Coming-
the only one that gets hit, I'm gonna be pissed.
Coming from the area just around Ruby's feet. And Alexandrite, you fall on your tuchus. As
Fuck.
But why is the
Shelby,
turn order up?
as Shelby makes herself known.
Elby. Okay.
Shelby is the
Shelby is
Armadillo
really
thing.
That
armadillo, not doe. Pangolin.
Enough.
Okay, well, that's just like rude.
The gems chose who they chose, and they're aware of who they chose.
okay.
You
None of us are experts on the gems. Shelby's an
all have more important things to worry about than what species the other GemStars are. Your world is under threat.
And technically, your world is under threat.
And technically, it wasn't species that we were concerned with.
So Shelby turns to you and goes, "Get off your butt and be quiet."
Dude, that was your fault.
I'll reach a hand over to help Alexandra up.
She will whack your hand away and try and use the armadillo as her help her up.
Oh, you don't want to. You don't want to do that.
No, she's not. She doesn't know how mad it is.
That is a pointy surface.
So she's gonna try and put her hand on it, and then she's gonna
How
get
could you
pissed.
call it an armadillo too? Just insult to injury.
Yeah, it's not an armadillo.
Actually, she wouldn't know what an armadillo was, so she'd probably call it the roly thing.
The roly poly.
Ball, so it's just the roly thing.
And so she sort of rolls her neck and shoulders. Should Amber make decisions unbecoming of a GemStar, Amber, the gem, we'll handle it. Ruby?
Hey, that's good enough for me.
And she just sort of goes back into the little corner she was hiding in, curls back up.
So I know we can't touch it. Can I create like almost like a platter underneath of the tiara to pick it up, to carry it with us?
You can try.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, my intention is to bring it back to Amber, but since obviously none of us can touch it, I was thinking
like probably like messing around in like one of my pouches to pull out fabric to like.
That's probably not a good idea.
Lay over it and like try to.
Yeah, like my intention is like
both of us are just standing at the chest of drawers, being like, "How can we?"
I'm backing
Can I
away.
Let's just go get Amber.
Actually,
Yeah,
I was gonna say
Amber.
we could just get Amber.
Amber, why don't you come back in? Because I assume you're right on the other side of the door.
no, but like Alexandra, I think she was gonna do.
You can hear me.
Present it to her and welcome her back. Them back.
I mean, if you want, I can try to like create something under it and just lift it.
Like,
That's what I was trying to do.
that's not
I
pleasant.
have
to
the
touch.
create power to make a little like wall. I made a hamster ball out of it.
Yeah, like so you just Amber comes back in, just seeing Soda and Alexandria trying to like figure out how to get underneath of it, and she's like,
Say they are close enough that if you raise your voice, they would hear, but they were intentionally moving far enough away that you could discuss things without them overhearing.
I would. I mean,
To be clear, you definitely heard that tail slap.
Oh, sure, but
and you definitely. I did raise my voice enough to that you would hear. To asking you to come back in.
then I'll come in.
So first, we found out the pets probably all have superpowers.
I already knew that.
"Yeah, that one's like."
And second, Shelby has allayed any concerns or fears we have about your work with us as a GemStar. And third, I believe Soda has made clear that while we trust working alongside you, there are still significant interpersonal issues that will need to be worked out.
Of course.
But for now, we need to get back to work. Ruby, what should we do?
To be fair, I'm totally on board because this is like totally the premise of one of my favorite books.
What?
Did you eat her? Because I need to know this
We
because
don't
like
need another book
in the
series. We
book,
don't.
she eats people and shapeshifts into them, and it's like
We
so
don't need
cool.
another
Such a
book
good book.
series.
It's called The Shapeshifter's Feast. You guys have never heard of it?
No.
Well,
I don't think
Alexandria
my mom let me
at
read.
some
I don't
point,
think my
but-
mom would have ever let me read that.
I mean, she like hunts people down and she like eats the rich, and then like takes their identity and it. Okay.
Sounds
So,
like something an artificial intelligence would write.
so, just to be clear, and this, I don't know if this bodes good or ill because it's not like the real Acosta was a prince. We can take the shape of anyone. We don't have to eat them to do so.
Wait. Anyone, so like, honestly, you could have told us that earlier, and that would have made for some really better plans there.
What was that?
You could have told us this earlier, and we would have had some better plans going on of infiltration.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what if you changed into Acosta?
We could just completely.
We have a spare Acosta to make public statements to be like, army.
We're just keeping a pasta in our pocket.
Acosta pocket.
I'll just put my pocket Acosta.
Oh, the cat is gonna go.
Acosta.
The cat is gonna go. Are you gonna tell him the rest?
To whom? To me?
Wait,
You
who
would
is
do
she
well.
talking to right now? There could
I'm
be-
going to look over where that sound came from and say, you would do well to be quiet right now. We have tolerated your nonsense for a while, but I will not stop any of these people from killing you right now.
I'm already dead.
Yeah, we can make it. I'm sure they can make it permanent.
What else? So this is actually like Aaron confused. Like, what am I not telling them?
But
The fact that you did eat, Braylon.
no, I don't think they understand that, like, you could look like Acosta, but you don't know Acosta, so you couldn't be.
Oh, yeah.
That's just.
So, I mean, yes, I could make myself look like Acosta. I don't have access to Acosta's thoughts or memories or anything like that. I'm a decent actor and could maybe pretend in a get us past a guard post kind of way, but probably not in a make public statements where people who know the real Acosta are going to
off the trail. Like, it doesn't have to be precise. Throw away that groove bit. It's not about full replication. We need a distraction, and you can be the distraction. That's all we need.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely I can do that.
Details aside, whatever. It's fine. Like, we have a pocket Acosta. Pocket Acosta. Is that what you
Acosta.
Pasta.
Pasta.
Pasta?
Pocket full pasta.
Okay, this pasta could come in handy for the immediate future and the immediate plan that we have.
We don't have one really. We've kind of been scrapping it every like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, we had a plan?
Well, we had like 5, but we've had to change each and every one of them.
We had at least 12% of a plan.
Like 12%.
Barely a concept.
No, we still don't have a plan. We still have a lot. And now that we know that Acosta's grew, which means he's probably not able to be reasoned with, and starting the little plan of convince soldiers to turn on Acosta might be harder.
Well, what we know is there is a Gru who has enough information to take on the look of Acosta.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if that same Gru has obtained enough data. That's how I'm gonna call eating a person. What's the limit? Wait, okay, so you can see someone and become what they look like, but you have to like consume
No.
memories?
That's kind of no.
Braylon was very clear that there was no eating involved.
Okay. We're talking about two separate things.
Okay.
We're telepathic.
That's why we do the mind thing.
I read Braylon's mind to
Before.
learn everything I could from them about their life and their society. I did not eat their brain to get that knowledge.
Okay.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay.
What do you mean that sucks?
I mean, I'm just saying that would have been like the book and not a.
We
In the
are
book, it's-
also carnivores, and
Oh, don't tell them that.
but
You ate Braylon.
Well, okay, so
and,
No, we're not getting into that
I feel like
aspect.
the less we know about that part, the better.
I think I'm just gonna chop that up too. It was survival,
I mean,
wasn't
let's be honest. That's not. At least logically, to me, that's not as bad as the killing part.
Elliot will have questions later.
it? And Doug, of course.
I don't think that's too relevant right now.
but
No.
yes, I can read minds. Not as good as your gem lets you, but I can read minds, and that's what I did to Braylon because, well, Braylon was already injured and not in a position to resist, so I got a very deep read on them.
Mhm.
And I have a very good memory. I don't forget things.
what I'm hearing is Acosta might be alive somewhere anyways.
It is certainly possible. I mean, perhaps we should not discount the possibility that Acosta and the Gru is working together.
I think that's possible, but at least from the chronology we've got, unlikely, because Acosta's personality and goals shifted dramatically after Darkfall, and that Gru we know came right after Darkfall. So we do it. It is admittedly a coincidence, but it is a very strong coincidence that gives greater weight to one possibility than the other.
I
So-
will say
It's really
that
difficult for LaFondian to come back from Shadowfall.
Okay, GM interjecting here.
yes,
One, Acosta's personality and demeanor and behavior did not dramatically change after Darkfall.
Okay.
He became more aggressive in the pursuit of what most people understood to already be his goals. He's always been a very militaristic. Is that how you pronounce that? Is that how you pronounce that word? He's always been that person. But after Darkfall, that became amped up a little bit. And then about 3 months in, he became a little more aggressive in pursuing those goals and whatnots. So it wasn't like a dramatic shift. It was just an amping up of.
Okay.
And most people sort of assumed it was because of Darkfall and because of all of the questions surrounding it and the things that were happening to the planet.
Okay. So then it's not a very heavy weight on the side of Gru taking them over. It's a lighter weight. We should give significant credence to being in cahoots, but
but
it's slightly more possible that he's been.
I would also say it is likely that he's alive. I'm trying to say this and still be sensitive. What I had to do with Braylon is not ideal for a long-term infiltration. For a long-term infiltration, what you would want to do would be to keep the person alive so you could go back and get new information, because there's no way to possibly get everything from someone's mind that you need.
Then there's no way the Emperor's let Acosta come back here.
We don't know that wait. When did Acosta go to Shadowfall? For what?
Isn't that how the Gru got in him?
What?
Isn't that where the Gru got in him? Was standing in front of the Empress?
Well, the Gru transformed into Costa in front of the Empress, but we didn't see anything to tell us that Acosta was there. It's possible. I hadn't considered that. That's a possibility we need to consider.
Knowing
But
the
it would be
Empress,
implied.
she would leave no loose ends. There's absolutely no way she would have let a Gru hold on to Acosta here.
No, but if the Gru's working with the Empress, then the Empress may have the real Acosta.
That's what I mean.
And
That
the
he's
Gru
a
just knows when to
Shadowfall.
top off.
Yeah, and then she can bring him there and back,
Yeah.
the Gru there and back at will. Okay.
Because obviously she's able to go, she's maybe not personally able to go back and forth, but she's at least able to make it open up that people can go back and forth. There's
And
no way she would have let Acosta stay, the real Acosta stay here.
and Gru Costa, because that's now his official name.
Costa.
Gru Costa. Gru Costa. Destroyed my parents' work to prevent the ability to go there, because that would give you the ability to come back. And there could be rescuing of Acosta. There could be any number of things. She maintains a monopoly on travel to and from.
It appears so, yes. Mine is how I got here.
How did you get here?
She explained it once. I don't think she actually knows how she got here.
No, the cat took me to a portal that almost immediately closed as soon as I walked through. And that's I kind of fell, I guess, onto your boat thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because she was in a warehouse and the cat took her like around the corner to another room that had a portal that was open.
Oh no, that part I remember. I forgot.
Oh,
You
that she
fell
fell
into the boat.
Yeah, it was literally like a hole opens up over the boat and like a demon falls out.
So if we can't guarantee a way to Shadowfall to rescue original Acosta, I still think our plan of getting into the consulate and curing as many of the soulless as we can is probably the best way to draw out Gru Costa. And then from there, is there a way to de-transform a Gru, or...
I mean, like, externally?
Force a change on Gru Costa?
I mean, you can control minds, right? Looking at Tetcha.
Control? Tried that. I just find answers.
Yeah.
People forget me, but that's not me controlling them. It just don't remember me when they turn around sometimes. Most of the time.
Wait, people forget you?
Right.
I mean, well, it's hard to, like, you guys remember me. This time I've had people remember me.
I remember everyone I meet. You're
adorable sometimes. Normally, like, sorry, Braylon, you now don't know this. That also explains why you don't like my ginger cookies anymore. You're gonna have to give them a try anyways, and eat them anyways.
What?
No, back home with the tribes, most people just don't, like, if they're not close to me, like, not like, if people aren't my friends, they don't remember me. And so it's why, like, a lot of the times at markets, I get away with pinking stuff, because when the vendor turns around and turns back to me, they don't realize they just convinced me to buy something. And so I walk away. Anyways, that's not the point. I'm not talking about stealing right now.
I mean, I also have some mild mind control.
A How long is this connected to you being an assassin?
No, I've always been like that. It just
Okay.
makes the jobs easier. A lot easier, actually.
Okay.
As long as the people don't know me, it's super easy.
Okay.
What was it that Hydrox said he saw after he was resolidified?
He saw Acosta. I don't remember what Acosta was doing.
It wasn't Acosta.
I thought
that
it
he
was
saw.
Braylon.
It was
I thought he-
Braylon.
It was Braylon.
Okay. Saw Braylon.
And someone else?
He doesn't remember the someone else.
Right.
It was Soda who saw the someone else.
Can you?
Talking about the arm with the dark skin that
The-
opened
the-
the door?
No, we are talking about when Hydrox was originally taken. And Braylon,
the shadow, the crystal shadow.
the shadowy figure,
Yeah.
sparkly person.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I tried to figure that out, and then I got all that other stuff that made me throw up. So you want me to go in again?
No, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in Mary's room.
I don't want to throw up on Mary's floor
That
again.
would be important.
Sorry.
I think the big thing where we're at right now is we have 4 major threats, 1 minor threat, and 1 unknown. And we need to figure out something about them. We have Acosta, we have Gru Costa, we have the Empress, we have Brilliance. Minor threat, we have Princess, and unknown, those little people with the pointy hats. And we don't know how any of these things. Well, we do know Gru Costa and the Empress are working together. That's
Who's Princess?
Who's Princess?
Oh, okay. I was like,
I am purposely diminishing the cast.
Okay.
yeah, no, I get that now. I just thought that you guys were marking someone that I wasn't aware of.
A new villain. So question for the game master. When Sodalite went to Seteta, is her nose still orange?
Oh yes, it's still orange.
So,
Seteta? Did you know you?
Annoying. You can just see it out of the corner of my eye. Just
Okay.
can you boop this off or something?
Me?
Mary.
Oh.
Huh? Is it an injury?
Injury?
Injures my soul.
I was gonna say, I think it's your
Close
pride
enough.
that's injured.
I don't know if I can heal
Your
pride.
vanity is injured.
You could try.
I mean, I can do a healing pulse.
Right?
Sure. She'll do a healing pulse, I guess.
Remove first or something like that.
I don't have that.
That would be a great power to get.
I'll add it to the list. Look, man, I added to the list being able to revive y'all when you die. So
I mean, it wouldn't be hard to build in Mutants and Masterminds a nullify with the descriptor of curses.
I mean, so it's
Which, honestly, I guess means Mary could probably power stunt it.
I guess it does say you take on the removed conditions for some of them.
That's still only with empathetic, isn't it?
Let's.
Yeah, you could power stunt removing a non-injured condition. If you want to spend your pretty hero point.
I Yeah, sure. I can at least try. Although, will it work?
At hero point.
Huh?
So you go over and you try to undo whatever is going on with her nose.
Doesn't work.
No. Not only does it not work, now your nose is also orange.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Is Little Teacup in the room right now?
I don't know. Make a perception check.
Don't, like,
I saw this
wish
coming. I
bubble
was like,
on
I
your
shouldn't.
nose. Like, I can wipe it off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, it's not. I'm
Sorry,
so-
Mary.
Oh,
No, I was distracted by the nose turning a different color.
Oh, and it kind of glows a little bit. It's not just orange. It's like, it's like,
Oh.
Yeah.
That's mean.
Sorry,
It
Mary.
truly glows, or are we talking like day glow orange kind of thing?
it's like day glow orange. It's like a safety vest kind of thing. You know how it kind of gives off a little bit of,
Yeah,
yeah.
Is it magic based? Could I undo it with magic?
You can try.
Yeah, get on in there.
Why don't you give me a magic knowledge check?
You're fighting God.
I got a 24 on that perception, by the way.
Yeah, hold on a second.
18.
Trying to remember what I put as the DC for this. And it involves.
Did it roll? Do you guys see my roll?
Yeah, you do not see Teacup in the room.
It did roll? Oh, shit.
Okay.
That's a terrible roll.
It definitely rolled. It's magic, for sure. But you're like, that's some weird magic.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to keep pushing this guy's buttons until we draw him out and then have a conversation.
So,
Sorry, random gnome guy.
that's what, 5 or 6 mysteries that we need to figure out if any of them are connected beyond just the Empress and
Acosta.
So we need information from someone who's involved in these. So we were talking earlier before we left Galliana, Brilliance and / Orgru Costa might be going after the rest of the people who are working on Project Atlas, or we do what we can from Pearl and go into the consulate and use people or help the people there, and maybe that'll be a way to draw out at least Gru Costa.
I kind of feel like, as much as I hate to say it and I don't want to say it, tactically, our best option, our first priority should be making sure that the rest of Wiki, what was the name of it? The what conspiracy?
Oh, you mean Project Atlas?
Project Atlas, thank you.
Yeah.
That the rest of Project Atlas is safe, so that hopefully they can give us any more information or insight.
At least this rest of them.
Forewarned is forearmed. Because that is something that is active that we know Gru Costa is trying to do, whereas the healing isn't as time sensitive.
I don't like leaving them as soulless too long.
Oh no,
But
I absolutely agree. I'm not saying that it's not important, and I'm not saying it's not a rush. I'm just saying that the
more
rest
immediate thing, yeah.
is more time sensitive.
No, I get that. As for who the rest of them are, and Ruby just lets out a big sigh, it would be the Zerfina Crystal Corporation, specifically Silver and Talindra, as well as Hannah Tians, if I wrote that down correctly.
As well too.
Hold on. Sorry, I have so many notes everywhere.
Okay, well, there was the palaces.
Yeah.
There
People write
was...
it down because I was not able to write that down.
Yeah,
I'm so
that is
nosy. You don't even...
that is correct. You would actually, you know enough about your rivals to know that Silver is both the CEO of the Zerafina Corp and also Talindra's father.
Yep.
And Hannah Tians is their head of research and development and is Talendra's aunt.
Okay.
Ruby, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna vote that we go save your bully's family first.
No, that is what I was going to say. I'm just glad someone else said it first. Hopefully we can deal with this quickly. I realize the soulless thing is probably going to stay as bad as it's going to get. But it's still hopefully fixable.
All right. So the question then goes, we're trying to protect them. How are we going to protect them? We should probably put that out before we go talk to them. I personally, the best option that comes to mind is taking them to the academy, because of its defenses, and there we can warn them about Grucosta, and it seems like it might be the safest place for them. I'm definitely open to it if anybody else has any ideas.
I mean, I was a bit more interested in using them as bait than
Bait.
just protecting them. We do know they have a warehouse that Ori's kids are being stored at. I don't know if that place is active anymore, but it would be somewhere that could be defended.
I hadn't thought about bait. We could bring them with us when we heal all the soulless.
We don't have a way to get a message to Galliana, do we? No.
Boxes.
Is there a Vox to whatever the name of the building?
To the Chancellery? Yeah, they probably have that
Can
capability.
Can I just, luck being my thing, serendipity is a power of mine. I do happen to have the phone number of the Project Atlas guy that I spoke to at Galliana.
Sure.
The Vox number.
I feel like they need to know about Grucosta.
Absolutely.
Because it also means that they need to be
vigilant.
Well, they need to be scanning people who arrive to make sure that they're who they say they are.
All right, give me 1 second. I will make that Vox.
So you attempt to Vox Cornelius, and eventually it goes to Cornelius's voicemail. So you may.
Cornelius, hi. This is Blade Crystal leaving you a message because you have won the fan giveaway. Please contact me back at this number, and my friend Kelsey Patrick will take down your information. Please call me right away. Hang up. And I will say to the GM, I am hoping that Cornelius is smart enough that he recognizes my voice, and the fact that I used a name with the same initials as me, to kind of figure out what was going on in between.
Okay.
You just use
So,
to make
Wiki,
that call.
Yeah.
I forgot something that you had told me a while back. And I'm very bad at mental mapping and things. Where was it that Mary's dad was supposed to have been?
In Abalonia, the Obsidian Fields.
Obsidian Fields, okay.
Like almost north of Galliana, but a little bit west.
Phone
Northwest.
Did you just use to make that call on?
My burner phone.
throw that out the window.
Once I get the call back.
Oh, we shouldn't stay here then. We need to move right now.
Yeah,
Nobody has tapped this phone. I've been
Not
going
about your
through.
phone. It is about the phone that you called and left a trace on with your voice. And that phone now has your
What?
number.
With the voice of Jade Crystal. Oh, I'm sorry, Soda. You didn't know. Yes. I am also Jade Crystal. It's my stage
I already
name.
knew that.
You take a guess. I think a lot of us had it at this point, but
Yeah, I already understood that you were walking around with your money and elegance and performance, and that's fine. I am more concerned with like how people in my field would take care of contracts that are obviously out on all of your heads, no matter which persona you're going with.
It's not widely known that I am Jade Crystal.
Ruby's just gonna.
okay. So where are we going?
We need to get going to probably Eopanon. Ruby says as she.
I hate you all.
What?
Nothing.
Where's to go?
Nothing.
My turn from her expectations.
Have we made a complete 180? But no, Ruby
I have a feeling we
is
might be going to break soon, just so that we can set everything up.
maybe.
We decide to head for Yopanon.
Before they make a move, though, Ruby is just looking very curiously at the glowing orange noses among the team. Just kind of really up in Sodalight's face at the moment. And
Mary?
just gives it a little poke.
You know what? Oh,
Mary, do you have any gem up? Gem
Makeup.
up.
makeup.
No.
My mom might have some, but that's still very unlikely.
I'm okay. I'm not putting dirt on my face like that. No, I'm fine.
Would that even?
Bright, shiny orange nose. Okay, that's fine.
I can go check my mom's room.
Might be able to cover it up, though. I don't know. Of course,
Does
I'm
my
not
mom have any?
bright, shiny nose
in her
myself.
Never mind.
Wiki,
What?
does my mom have any in her room?
Oh, probably has makeup.
Yeah,
Ruby
we'll steal a little.
is just gonna lift up one finger. Mary's nose also got orangified, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because I was tampering. I'm sorry, Mr. No Man.
Just gonna give it a poke and say out loud, boop.
Mary just starts giggling.
Mary, your nose is no longer orange.
Hang on, what? How did you know that would work?
I am incredibly magical. 1 second. Just hang on. And then she's just gonna tap Sodalight's nose and say, boop.
Your nose is no longer orange.
That's very cute.
So we've learned perhaps don't be needlessly antagonistic to small magical creatures.
Or try to mess with the small magical creature's fingers in a way it didn't want it to go.
Oh,
I heard Teacup's voice in my head. Apparently, he's a fan of
open?
booping. The snoop, specifically.
Well
It's kind
done.
of cute, though.
Well done, Ruby.
Look, this guy is a problem, but right now, if he's trying to rewrite our reality, I think he's facing probably his most dangerous enemy, which would be a fanfic writer. So, we're probably in the clear for now. Let's just get going while we have time.
And as the GemStars have apparently decided to do something completely out of left field, we're going to go ahead and take our break as I scramble to figure out what I'm going to do on my side of the screen. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Okay, switching, and we're on.